could say Healing Hands Ministries Medical and Dental Clinic rose up from within the community of Lake Highlands. While the clinic provides care to people in North Dallas and Richardson, Healing Hands Ministries began as a local movement among neighbors with a shared passion for helping others. Healing Hands Ministries addresses a well-defined community need: affordable health and dental care for families and individuals with no health insurance, people who can seem invisible because they fall through the cracks between government health programs and private insurance. Jana Gardner is the executive director and the visionary behind the concept.
It's about people that work really, really hard for $10 or $12 an hour. They have families that they love just like I love mine. They have husbands and wives that they love like I love my husband. And they're just trying to do the very best they can with the means that they have.
I have been on the board since it became an idea in our hearts and have seen it grow into the clinic that it is today. And we have more growth to do, of course, but we serve a wonderful population.
60% of the families that live in the area served by Healing Hands Ministries are the so-called invisible poor, whose household incomes are too high to qualify for public assistance and for whom private health insurance is unaffordable. Gardner is a registered nurse. While working as a school nurse, she believes God revealed the plight of the uninsured in her community from an inside perspective.
During that time, I would have children that would come to me with severe dental pain and folks that were ill, and they had nowhere to go because their families were the working poor.
Jana believes the burden she felt for the children at her school and their parents was God's way of nudging her to start a clinic in the area.
I knew right then that God had confirmed for me that that was exactly what I was called to do, is to be that voice for the invisible poor.
She shared her vision with other receptive neighbors like Mark Wingfield, who was shocked by the great need in his own backyard. Of 10,000 children in Lake Highlands area schools, 60% qualify for free or reduced lunches, one of the indicators of poverty. The statistic revealed a no longer invisible challenge for a community often considered an affluent enclave.
One of the verses that has most influenced my life is from 1 John. And it says, "Whoever has the world's possessions and sees a brother or sister in need and does not act, how can the love of God be in that person?" If we have those resources and we see the need, if they're no longer invisible to us, but we know they're here, we are responsible to act and to be the very hands and feet of Christ to reach out and touch them.
Healing Hands Ministries Medical and Dental Clinic opened its doors in spring 2007. A host of individuals and church members pitched in with time, money, and expertise, creating a beacon of light to needy families of the community. A visible light, offering hope to the seemingly invisible uninsured.
Jana came to me and she had, $300,000 budget numbers and these kind of things, and I thought, what a pipe dream. That could never happen. But I'm becoming a believer.
This project just speaks to our heart. It's for families, and so much of what we do is related to the schools or to community projects that impact families.
For once, we're seeing families come in for regular health care that in the past they would wait till things got so difficult to where they had to go to the emergency room.
Today, nurses, doctors, dentists, dietitians, and non-clinical volunteers offer their time, professional skills, and literally their hands to give healing and hope to people whose health needs are no longer invisible to them.
For a student to learn well, they must feel well. To see the connection of health and feeling well and learning well and being successful in school, and the gift that gives them, they don't even realize yet that through education they can lift themselves out of a difficult situation. And so that's where we fit in.
The best part of the program is that patients now have doctors, nurses, and dentists to manage and follow their care affordably and consistently.
And that was always one of my problems prior to this is, you go to the doctor, you really need to have a follow-up, need to be seen, and you don't, because financial situations are just not being able to do it, and to be able to be followed from one situation to another to make sure everything's okay, good thing.
I love Dr. Forsythe.
Out of all the doctors, he's my favorite. Because he's kind. He tells you exactly what you need to do.
Dr. Nelson Forsyth is the volunteer medical director. Recently retired from his private medical practice, he desired to give something back to his community.
We have a lot of diabetics here that didn't know they were, and to get an opportunity to start treating that early, prevent complications is gratifying.
In addition to the clinic, Healing Hands Ministries offers an array of community services, including seminars, family resources, disease prevention programs, and spiritual support.
I have myself on a diet where I eat 7 times a day, and everything I eat is multigrain. And since then, I done lost almost 125 pounds.
People are very pleased with the service here, and they are very thankful. They realize what they're getting because they've been to other places.
The clinic partners with local hospitals, and the impact is a reduction in non-urgent visits to overburdened emergency rooms. While assisting patients, Healing Hands Ministries also empowers them to take charge of their ongoing health care needs, which in turn improves quality of life.
I would just like to say thank you to all of the volunteers and to the doctors and to the nurses and all of the staff here, because they have really been wonderful.
This place was a godsend for me. Miss Jana, the staff, it was just a godsend. I just felt that was my blessing.
Healing Hands Ministries Medical and Dental Clinic exists to provide an abundant life to all people, physically and spiritually, but they can't do it alone. Your help is needed to keep the vision alive and growing.
The biggest need the clinic has right now is funding. We receive no outside funding other than what our donors give us at this point. We have been blessed of God with great resources to be in this facility, to have the equipment, to have the volunteers that we do. There is a monthly expense to running the clinic, and that expense is funded by individual donors who make monthly contributions, annual contributions, to keep this place going.
As we're able to share our story, people are able to see what the true need is. And because there is a true need and we can show it and they can see it and they can touch it and they can feel it and it's tangible, then they want to be a part of us and they want to help to spread that.
Look at these little girls here. I mean, can you imagine one of these little girls sitting at home with a toothache, not being able to sleep all night, not being able to go to school the next morning, Mama not be able to stay home with them because if she stays home, she'll lose her job. I'm going to be able to fix their teeth so none of that will happen.
If we can be that small drop in our community to help make things cohesive and be that consistent hope where trust is built, I think that we've accomplished what God's asked us to do.